So I wanted to make a quick video about blue pencils. Back in the days when I first started in animation, we were told to use these light blue Col-Erase pencils because you could draw a line with them and then when you went to clean it up, you would take an eraser, and this is called rubbing it down. You don't rub too hard. You just rub enough so that the blue is not as strong. And then you take your cleanup pencil and go over it to give it a final line as it goes to Xerox. And so the cleanup line would go around the character like this. Man, you do your heavy line across the top like that. Do your eyes like that. Give your little thick and thin lines here and there. So when this got to Xerox department, this would be Xeroxed onto a cell, and the few pieces of light blue that were left after you erased would not show up as the artwork got photographed and transferred to a Xerox cell. What would show up would be the black pencil. So there were guys that would also animate in this, the Col-Erase Blue pencil, which is darker. This puts down a darker line with not too much pressure, and it's a different blue than the light blue, as you see. And then you would rub that down with your eraser. Usually you would use a kneaded eraser for this part. And then you go over it in black pencil. Kind of like that. So it was an animator's preference as to which of those pencils they would use. And at Filmation, they used these Invader pencils. And you rub that down a little bit. Get your dark pencil and go over it. But again, at this point, since you rub down the blue pencil, it's not going to Xerox. And if you're scanning drawings with a scanner for your computer to input this into your computer software, that blue should not pick up, and if it does, you can adjust the settings so that the blue kind of disappears. Now, these pencils, the Polychromo, guys at Disney were using these. And we were told that they had to get permission to take one from the supply closet. This is back in the 80s. We jokingly said it was a magic pencil, and that's why they kept it under lock and key. So when you rub this down, and then if you can find your 2B pencil, which is what I'm using here, so it was all just a matter of personal preference as to which pencil people used. You use the pencil that you like on the paper that you like. Now, there's other blue pencils out there, like this one that has no wood around it, the AquaMonolith. It's a Delft Blue, it says. But how does it feel in my hand to draw on this paper? Well, it feels okay. This paper in this sketchbook has got a texture to it, a certain amount of tooth. So it's not the same as drawing on really smooth bond paper, which would be used in your printer. Let's try this drafting pencil on here. Whole different line when you use a drafting pencil. So it's all a matter of personal preference. When you're using the blue pencil, do you like the color blue that's going down on the paper? Do you like how it feels in your hand on your paper? That's what you have to take into account when you're looking for different art materials. When I got to Film Fair in '85, there was a guy there named Rusty, and he was using this Mongol Heliotrope pencil, which is kind of a purplish color. And that was just his personal preference. And as long as he rubbed down the drawing, before he did his cleanup line on it. Camera department was fine with it. I don't recall them having problems with him using heliotrope at all. I think it was the first time I had seen anybody use anything except a blue pencil at that point. So I got a couple just to try it out. So on that same time frame at Film Fair, a lady came in animating on Rainbow Bright commercials, and she was using an orange pencil to animate. And at that point, I had never seen anybody use an orange pencil for animation, but she did. And I believe that the two ladies doing the cleanup on her work, I think they just put down a clean sheet of paper when they did cleanup on her work. I don't think they sent her actual pages to Xerox. So again, everything is just a personal preference as to what you use to make your drawings. I remember I worked on a commercial doing assistant animation years ago, and it was for a book that was coming out, and it had a volcano. It was Dianetics. The volcano exploding, and all the rocks coming up from the volcano had to be done in different colors. So if you can imagine, there were 9 different colors working on one sheet of paper. So there was a blue one. There was a bunch of orange rocks, purple rocks. Everything had to be done different color. There were green rocks coming right out. There were red rocks coming out. And each drawing, each in-between took an hour to do. Not my choice. This is what the animator did so that ink and paint would be having an easier time, and the special effects guys would have an easier time. Everything had to be done different colors like that. So everything is just, what do you like? Pick out your paper, pick out your pencils that you like on that paper. This is what being an artist is all about, trying out different mediums all the time. See what you like, see what you don't like. Here's a giant pencil I haven't used in a long time, the Berol Alpha. And I got this giant yellow one. an Eagle Veriblack. As you can see, I hardly ever used it. Just find the pencils that you like and use that. So that'll end today's video, and we'll see you next time. Until then, keep drawing.